Hi everybody. Phil and I came out to somewhere very different for us to film today, and where we are is the Oxford Wood Recycling in Abingdon. And what we were looking for was some wood for some different projects that we're going to be making. And I'm going to be making a workbench out of second-hand wood, some wood that's been taken from builders' yards and from building sites and offices and so on, where this company actually goes and takes down the wood, loads it up, brings it here, dismantles it, and then sells it on to people like me, people like you. And there's some pretty neat projects that you could get from just ordinary everyday wood that others might be throwing out, which will make your project very inexpensive. Looking at some of the prices here, I think I see that the prices are about 1/3 I might pay for new. But what this gives me is a complete variety. I can go looking at some of the stuff here. I've got a piece of 3x4 here, rough sawn. Would it make a workbench? It'd make a great workbench. I've got another piece that I pulled out earlier. Where was it? This one here. You can see the plaster lats that were going across the ceiling or the underside of a ceiling here. So I've got a 3x4 that's in great shape. It's got very, very close annual rings. And this would be a very nice piece for a workbench legs. Well, I can get 3 workbench legs from this one piece alone. So for about £5, £5, £6, I've got 3 of my 4 workbench legs. So this is a good place to start your projects from if you wanted. If it's less than perfect, then you may want a workbench. There's a workbench. Within a few minutes of working on a workbench, it's an old workbench. It's got dings in it. It's got all kinds of things going on with it. But I like that idea. I like the whole concept of upcycling. I like the whole concept of having materials that would otherwise fill the landfill. We're not into that anymore. Those days are gone. And now we're upcycling, recycling, and really making some top-notch projects. So watch what we can do with it. Oh, there's some more leg material here, Phil. Rough sawn. I don't mind rough sawn. Rough sawn is really great for me because I can just plane it and through it. Eyeball. It's got a big old curving down this length here, but that curve disappears when I cut this in two and cut one of the legs from it. I'm going to be pretty near straight by the time I've cut that in two, so that's a great leg for my bench. So I need 2 of those because that's just 2 meters long, and I need, there's another one, a bit rougher. This one's got some checking in it. This type of check won't deteriorate. That will stay like that for the rest of its life, so I wouldn't worry about those. You could film them if you felt like it was necessary, but my legs are going to be, my bench overall height is going to be 38 inches, and I'm going to take 2.5 inches off for the bench top, so 38 takes me down to 35.5, and then an inch on top of that, so I need 34.5 inches for my overall length of my leg. So that's 34.5, 39, 69 is going to be, so I can get 2 legs out of that one. Now normally I might be looking for 3x3 would be plenty, X 3x3, and I've got 3x4, so I would just leave that as a 3x4 and plane the 4 faces and have 4-inch legs one way. Well, that's my leg material picked out. My apron material, boy, look at this here. This is perfect, this. So I can get aprons out of this. Is it long enough? Not quite long enough. Rough sawn again. But what this will do, it'll do my cross rails 1x6. So I could make them 1x6 or cut down to 1x5. Somewhere around there is plenty wide enough. So that's definitely an apron. There's another one, another apron, not apron, cross rail I mean, sorry. 2.4, that will give me 2 aprons there, so I could get 2 aprons out of that. A little bit of wormhole here, whether it's living or not, you'll have to check. Probably not, I would say that's not living. It's got some concrete on here. You can clean that off quite easily with a scraper. A bit hard on your plane, so you'd have a rough scrub plane or something. But I might pick a little bit deeper. See here, I've got some. There's no, yeah, there is concrete there, but that flicks off, so that wouldn't be an issue. So things like that to look for. Look for wormholes. Look for concrete. Look for knots buried in there. Anything like that. Try and get that down to a minimum. But those are my cross rails. Then I've got my bench top, which is right over here. This is a good deal. If I come here, bring you round here. Here I've got some clear cut. These are 2x3s. These would be in America. Here in the UK it would be the other way around, so 3x2. So let's go culturally. I'm in Britain, so this would be a 3x2, and nice clear material. It's got some knots in it, doesn't matter for a workbench. Straight stock. These are all pretty straight, but they've not been used, so these would be some kind of offcut that somebody's cast aside, and then the company goes in and buys them up, or even gets paid to take it away sometimes. And so I bought this pallet here, £50, which is a pretty good price in the UK. In fact, it's an excellent price, because that's bringing this down. I've got 50 sticks of wood that are enough to make several bench tops for my £50. So really, I'm looking now at buying about £50 for about £100. I've got a bench, I've got 2 sawhorses, and I've got a shelving unit that I can buy from this. I think that's pretty good value for money, and I'm using solid wood, so that's great. This is the benefit of upcycling, using recycled wood, and we're not filling the landfill with any more waste wood. So it's not waste, it's great stuff.